Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. We have a great show for you today. Really appreciate you joining us here today. So here's what we got on today's show. Eric Schneiderman, accused by 4 women, has quit as New York Attorney General. Donald Trump is expected to leave the Iran deal, according to his allies. And Trump is growing frustrated with Rudy Guiliani as the whole drama with Stormy Daniels has now continued to rage on, and things are not getting any better for Rudy or the Trump administration. So, the recent shakeups have really done little to calm things down. Some really big breaking news stories. Really appreciate you staying with us here today. That's a big help, as always. So, yeah, I really appreciate it. So we got a lot of stuff to get into. So let's do it. So, all right. So, Eric Schneiderman, he has been accused by 4 women. He is now, he is now out as the New York Attorney General. So he rose to prominence as an antagonist of the Trump administration, abruptly resigned on Monday in the Monday night hours after the New Yorker reported that 4 women had accused him of physically assaulting them. This was pretty big news that mostly broke overnight. It's been my great honor and privilege to serve as the Attorney General for the people of the state of New York. I do apologize there. Schneiderman said, in the last several serious allegations, which I strongly contest, have been made against me. While these allegations are unrelated to my professional conduct or the operations of this office, they will effectively prevent me from leading the office's work during this critical time. I therefore resign from my office effective at the close of business on May 8th, 2018. That was yesterday. So, that's today. So, today is going to be his last day. So he'll probably be saying his goodbyes today, packing it up today as well. So it's gonna be a pretty crazy situation. So his resignation represented a stunning fall for a politician who had always assumed a prominent role in the Me Too movement. 2 of the women who spoke to the magazine, Michelle Manning-Barish and Tanya Saravatnam, say they had been choked and repeatedly hit by Schneiderman, who seems like such a boring legal nerd. It's impossible to imagine him you can only imagine running on the treadmill in the gym or taking a run for his dog. That's the extent of physical activity you can really picture him doing. It's really, when I heard this, I was like, that's crazy. What? There's no way. So he says, while these allegations are unrelated, he is resigning. He's really had some pretty strong roles. He was one of the people who raided Michael Cohen. He was the person who initiated the raid at Michael Cohen's house. He played a big role in the Russian investigation and is probably one of the biggest people. Him and the guy in Virginia are really key in putting away and really monitoring the Donald Trump administration. In the Southern District of New York, it's always been a very big deal. 2 of the women who spoke to the magazine, so they both they had sought medical treatment. Another woman, a lawyer, said she was slapped violently across the face. A 4th woman said she had similar experiences. All of the women who had been romantically involved with Schneiderman said the violence was not consensual, obviously. So Schneiderman denied the women, saying in a statement, "In the privacy of intimate relationships, I've engaged in role playing and other consensual sexual activity. I have not assaulted anyone. I never engaged in non-consensual sex, which is a line I would not cross." But not long after the allegation was made public, many of his allies, including Governor Cuomo, who is like Schneiderman, a Democrat, and Cuomo, by the way, governor of New York, called for him to step down. So my personal opinion is that, given the damning pattern of facts and the corroboration laid out in this article, I do not believe it's possible for Eric Schneiderman to continue to serve as Attorney General. So Kirsten Gillibrand also echoed that call. She was one of the first people to oust Al Franken from the Senate. She said these violent actions described by multiple women in the story are abhorrent based on the extensive and serious reporting. I do not believe Eric Schneiderman should continue to serve as Attorney General. Under the New York Constitution, Schneiderman's replacement will be selected by the State Assembly and the Senate by joint ballot, effectively placing the decision in the hands of the Assembly, which has many more members. Assembly Speaker Carl E. Heastie planned to discuss the possible replacements on Tuesday. According to Michael Weiland, the spokesman for Mr. Heastie, whoever is chosen to fill out Schneiderman's team could then seek election in November. So, no Democrat has declared an intention to challenge Schneiderman, who is up for re-election this year. Manny Alejandro, a corporate lawyer from the from New York City, is running as a Republican and officially declared his candidacy on Monday. So, we cannot have. This is a time where we cannot have a Republican in that position right now. It's just not possible. It's not attainable. We just cannot do it. It's really bad to have a Republican in this position because it's like there's so many things that this is that the Southern District of New York is handling. I do want to get into them, but we are going to have to take a quick break and then we will continue with the story. So stay with us. This is the Spencer Walsh Radio Network. Your show will return in just 4 minutes.
Pendo on the beat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to today's show. Really appreciate you joining us here once again, as always. So Eric Schneiderman, he is obviously accused by Foreman. He's now quit as Attorney General, and I do want to get into some of the cases. The Southern District of the Southern District of New York. They're really doing quite a lot of stuff right now, so the person right now is Jeffrey Berman. I guess that's who they have in the interim right now. So it's several counties, including the county that we broadcast from, is in this situation. He's the New York Attorney General. In some of the cases he's handling, I don't want to get into this right now at the moment. So let's see if we can find it here. NYAG major cases. Because they're handling a lot with the Mueller stuff, so it's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of stuff he's handling. He's one of the most important, most high profile attorney generals in the country because it's a big state, obviously New York. So there is quite a lot to deal with. He's doing a lot with the Mueller investigation, which is also pretty big. So that's very important as well. So, yeah. So we now continue on that under the New York Constitution, his replacement, as we know, will not be put up until will be put up by the New York Assembly, and again, as I was saying before, this is just not the time to have any kind of corporate lawyer, or any kind of corporate figure in that place. So, I mean, we can have a Republican in that place because it's just too important. The people of New York, they want a Democrat, and they know we need a Democrat to fairly and ethically continue this Mueller investigation and all the challenging of corporations that the New York Attorney General does and is really in the job description of the New York Attorney General. I mean, it's going to be so important that there is real stuff, some real good, qualified, competent, and ethical lawyers put forth and really brought to the forefront, especially in times like these, even as the New York Attorney General's office is leaderless at the end of the close of business at Tuesday, May 8th. So, yeah, he's raised his profile nationally, Schneiderman has, by taking on President Trump's agenda repeatedly in the courts. He was pushing to change state laws so that his office could prosecute Trump, even if the president pardoned Mr. Trump's aides, even the president pardoned him. So, I mean, if Michael Cohen gets off, or one of the other people, someone close to him, like, for example, like Jared or something, he gets pardoned, then what could happen was, if Schneiderman was successful in his push, which he's probably not going to be able to really finish off now, he could still prosecute Jared Kushner, and he would be allowed to do that. So that's going to be one of the big deal. Really one of the big important parts of the Russia investigation. Women's issues has also been, ironically, a focal point for Schneiderman. Women's issues like, I mean, you didn't make the dinner, you're going to get choked or violently slapped. So, I mean, it really seemed to be pretty despicable stuff. But, yeah, he has also announced, for instance, a lawsuit against the company who run by former filmmaker Harvey Weinstein, accused of decades of sexual misconduct. We have never seen anything as despicable as what we've seen right here, Schneiderman said then. And the irony is really quite strong. So, Manning Barish in the New Yorker account, who was one of the accusers, described being slapped by Schneiderman after they had both been drinking. She said, she and Selvaratnam said that several of the attacks occurred after alcohol had been consumed, which is not too surprising. It was horrendous, she said. It just came out of nowhere. My ear was ringing. I lost my balance and I fell backward onto the bed. I sprang up, but at this point, there was very little room between the bed and him. I got up to try to shove him or take a swing, and he pushed me back down. That he then used his body weight to hold me down, and he began to choke me. The choking was very hard. It was really bad. In every fiber, I felt like I was being beaten by a man. So it's really some pretty really pretty tough stuff there that we see. Deborah Katz, a lawyer for Miss Manning Barish, said that it was Schneiderman's fantasy and his fantasy alone that the behavior was being welcomed. So, yeah, Schneiderman, she continues to make a career railing against the type of abuse, yet apparently he intends to re-victimize these courageous women who have come forward by pulling out that age-old sexist trope that they wanted it. So Ratnam told the magazine Schneiderman routinely drank to excess during their relationship, and that the physical abuse in the bed got worse the longer she was with him. We could rarely have sex without him beating me, she says, so which is not cool. The abuse was also verbal and emotional. He started calling me his brown slave and demanding that I repeated that I was his property. So yeah, really weird and also like racist stuff as well. So like, whoa.